In the distant future, Earth's resources had long been depleted, and humanity was on the brink of extinction. But in the chaos of their struggle for survival, they discovered something incredible, an ancient alien artifact buried deep beneath the surface of Mars. It was unlike anything humans had ever seen. Crafted from materials that defied understanding, the artifact seemed to pulse with a strange energy. After years of research, scientists realized that it wasn't just a relic of a lost civilization, it was a map. The artifact displayed coordinates leading to a planet in a distant galaxy, a place that, according to ancient texts, was home to a race of beings far more advanced than humanity could ever imagine. The world united for one purpose: to explore the unknown and find answers that could save their dying species. A new space expedition was formed, with the best and brightest from around the world joining forces. Among them was Captain Jackson Voss, a seasoned astronaut known for his leadership and courage. As the Ether Star, a massive intergalactic ship, launched into the deep void of space, the crew knew they were embarking on a journey unlike any other. The voyage was long, filled with perilous encounters with rogue asteroids, collapsing stars, and strange anomalies that bent the laws of physics. But nothing could stop them from reaching their destination. When they finally arrived, the crew was stunned to find a planet that seemed to be in perfect harmony with its environment. The skies shimmered with colors unknown to human eyes, and the air was thick with an otherworldly energy. As they set foot on the surface, they discovered that the planet was not deserted. Instead, they found remnants of the advanced civilization that had once thrived there, and what they uncovered would change everything. Deep within the planet's core, the crew discovered the truth. The beings who had lived there were not just a distant memory. They had transcended physical form, becoming pure energy, and their civilization had been built on a deep understanding of the universe's most powerful forces. The artifact was their gift to humanity, a way to offer them a chance to join this new phase of existence. But the decision was not an easy one. To accept the invitation would mean leaving behind everything they knew: family, friends, the physical world they had always known. To refuse would mean the extinction of the human race. As Captain Voss and his crew stood at the threshold of this unimaginable transformation, they knew the fate of humanity rested on their choice. Would they step into the unknown and embrace the future, or would they choose to remain in the past, clinging to the familiar? As the crew stood on the surface of the alien planet, a heavy silence descended upon them. The air was thick with anticipation, the weight of the decision pressing down on their shoulders. Captain Voss gazed at the shimmering horizon, his mind racing. The planet's energy pulsed around them, like a living entity calling them to step forward. He turned to his crew, searching their faces for answers, but found only uncertainty. No one spoke for a long moment, as the enormity of the situation sank in. Finally, Lila, the ship's lead scientist, broke the silence. "I've analyzed the energy readings. This isn't just a choice for us. It's a choice for humanity. We've been given the chance to evolve, to transcend our physical limitations," she said, her voice trembling with awe. "But it comes at a price. We have to leave everything we know behind. Our families, our friends, the very essence of what it means to be human." Captain Voss nodded gravely, his hand resting on the artifact they had uncovered. The glowing device seemed to hum in response to his touch, as if urging him to make the decision. The crew was divided. Some felt the allure of the unknown, the promise of eternal existence beyond the physical realm. Others, however, were hesitant. They feared what might be lost in the process, what it would mean to give up their humanity. "The unknown is terrifying," said Dr. Marcus Hayes, the ship's medical officer. "But if we don't take this chance, humanity will be doomed. We have no resources left. No future." His words hung in the air, and the reality of their situation became even clearer. The Earth they knew was no more. The remnants of their civilization were all that remained. The chance to join a higher form of existence was the only hope left, but it was a choice they couldn't make lightly. Captain Voss looked at his crew one last time, his voice resolute. "This is not just a mission anymore. It's our legacy. The world we return to, if we return at all, will be a different one. We have a responsibility to decide what future we want, not just for ourselves, but for the generations to come. With a deep breath, he placed his hand firmly on the glowing artifact, activating the gateway. The ground beneath them trembled, and a brilliant light filled the sky as the portal opened wide, revealing the path ahead. The crew hesitated for only a moment before stepping into the light, disappearing into the unknown. What lay beyond the gateway was a mystery, but they had made their choice. In the blink of an eye, they passed into a new era, one where the future of humanity would be written not in the stars, but in the very fabric of the universe itself. The journey through the gateway was unlike anything the crew had ever experienced. Time and space seemed to stretch and warp around them, a kaleidoscope of colors and energies that defied all logic. For a brief moment, it felt as though they were suspended in a place beyond reality itself. But then, as quickly as it had begun, the journey came to a sudden halt. The crew emerged on the other side of the portal, finding themselves on an entirely new plane of existence. They stood in awe, surrounded by what appeared to be a vast, ethereal city, constructed from light and energy. Towering structures pulsated with an otherworldly glow, and the air was thick with a sense of peace and understanding. There was no physical sensation of gravity, no ground beneath their feet, just the sense of floating in a space that transcended everything they knew. The beings who inhabited this place were not like anything the crew had ever seen. They were composed entirely of energy, their forms constantly shifting and flickering like living constellations. They spoke in a language that resonated directly within the minds of the humans, bypassing the need for words. "Welcome, travelers," one of the beings said, its voice a harmonious blend of sounds that seemed to come from the very fabric of the universe. "You have crossed the threshold. The choice you made will change not only your fate, but the fate of your species." Captain Voss stepped forward, his heart pounding with both excitement and fear. "What is this place? Who are you?" "We are the Ascendants," the being replied. "We have transcended the limits of the physical world, and now we exist as pure consciousness. We have watched over your species for millennia, guiding your evolution. The artifact you discovered was a gift to help you reach this point. You now have the opportunity to join us if you so choose." The crew looked at each other, their minds racing. This was the moment they had been preparing for, but now that they were here, it felt overwhelming. Lila, the scientist, was the first to speak. Are we meant to become like you?" she asked, her voice filled with wonder. "To leave behind everything we've known?" The Ascendant being nodded. "Yes. The path forward is one of unity, understanding, and growth. But it comes with a cost. You must surrender your physical forms and merge with the energy that surrounds you. You will no longer be bound by the limitations of the material world. You will exist as part of the greater whole, experiencing the universe as it truly is. But your ties to the physical realm will be severed. You will no longer be human in the traditional sense." The crew stood silent, contemplating the magnitude of what was being offered. The idea of leaving behind their humanity, of becoming something beyond flesh and blood, was both terrifying and tantalizing. Captain Voss looked at his crew, his voice steady, but filled with emotion. "We came here to save humanity, to ensure its survival. But now we must decide what that truly means. Is survival just about physical existence, or is it about evolving to something greater? Can we truly transcend what we are and join something greater than ourselves?" He turned back to the Ascendant being, his eyes filled with determination. "We're ready. We're willing to take the next step." The Ascendant being's form flickered brightly in acknowledgement. "Then, the journey has begun. You are the first of your kind to make this choice. The path ahead is unknown, but it is the path of ultimate enlightenment. We will guide you, but the transformation is yours to embrace." As the crew stepped forward, the light around them intensified, and they felt their physical bodies dissolve, becoming one with the energy of the Ascendants. In that moment, they understood. Their human limitations had ended, and their new existence had begun. They were no longer bound by time, space, or even the physical form they once knew. They were part of something greater, a collective consciousness that spanned the universe. And so, the crew of the Ether Star became the first to ascend, their legacy etched into the very fabric of existence itself. The future of humanity was no longer a matter of survival, but of transcendence, a journey that would echo through the cosmos for eons to come. As the crew's forms melded with the energy of the ascendants, the sensation was overwhelming. It was as though their consciousnesses expanded beyond the boundaries of their individual selves. They could feel the entire universe, not just as distant stars, but as a connected web of energy, thought, and existence. Time no longer had meaning, and space was irrelevant. They had become part of the cosmic flow, one with the very forces that govern the universe. Captain Voss, though no longer in his human body, retained his sense of self. His thoughts, once limited by physical constraints, now stretched across dimensions. He could perceive the infinite threads of existence that tied all things together. He could feel the pulse of galaxies, the birth of stars, and the death of entire worlds, all unfolding in an endless cycle of creation and destruction. In this state, the crew discovered that their connection to the Ascendants was more than just a physical transformation. It was a sharing of knowledge, a union of minds that allowed them to understand the true nature of the universe. The Ascendants, though no longer bound by flesh, had evolved into beings of pure understanding. They were the embodiment of cosmic wisdom, their minds vast and eternal. One of the Ascendants, its form shimmering like a nebula, approached the crew. "You are now one with us," it said, its voice echoing in their collective consciousness. But this is only the beginning. The universe is vast, and there are countless other civilizations waiting to ascend, just as you have. You have now become the bearers of the knowledge needed to guide them. You will be the ones to help others transcend, as you have. Captain Voss and his crew understood. Their mission had shifted from survival to guidance, from merely saving humanity to spreading the wisdom of transcendence to other civilizations. They were no longer explorers seeking answers. They were now teachers, bearers of enlightenment, and heralds of a new era. "Where do we go from here?" asked Lila, her thoughts now intertwined with those of her fellow crew members. "The path is open," the Ascendant replied. "There are countless worlds in need of your guidance. You will travel beyond the edges of this galaxy, into unknown realms where beings like you, once bound by flesh, will reach for the stars. Your journey will take you to places where the very fabric of reality is being torn apart, and others will look to you for the wisdom to heal those wounds. Your role will not just be to teach, but to learn as well. The universe is ever-changing, and there is always something new to discover." And so, the crew, now transformed into beings of light and energy, set off on their new mission. They traveled through the fabric of reality itself, visiting countless worlds, guiding civilizations toward the same transcendence they had experienced. The crew had become eternal travelers in the cosmos, their journey one of infinite discovery and enlightenment. Back on Earth, the news of the Ether Star's disappearance spread quickly. People speculated about what had happened, but no one knew the truth. The crew was gone, their legacy hidden from the physical realm, but their message lived on. They had shown that the future of humanity lay not in survival, but in evolution, a path that reached beyond the stars. As the crew of the Ether Star continued their journey, they became the stuff of legend. Stories of their transcendence spread across the galaxy, inspiring countless others to reach for something greater. The universe, once vast and unknowable, now seemed a little smaller, a little more connected. For Captain Voss and his crew, the question was no longer about where they were going. It was about what they would discover along the way, and how they could help others unlock the same potential within themselves. The universe was theirs to explore, to shape, and to guide, and their journey would never truly end. It had only just begun.